What's up? What's up? So today I'm gonna talk about the evolution of my training. Okay. So I started back lifting when I was in ninth grade, 99. Okay. And at that point, I'm not sure how I prepped as far as conditioning before actually lifting. And my idea, I'm not sure how everybody get their program started. Me now, I prep for my actual training. Okay. But then when I first started, I'm not sure. I think I just jumped in there as far as rep range, sets and rep ranges. I always remembered doing 6s and 3s. Okay. So as far as doing 3 sets of 6 reps one week, and then the following week I would do 3 sets of 3s, going back and forth each week, trying to get just a little bit more. No huge jumps, but just a little bit more each week. And from what I can think, I remember, is the fact that I would, I don't think I ever took a rest. I mean, I was young then, so I believe I just always tried to get just a little bit more. I don't remember failing first starting. I don't remember failing too many lifts. I never really went by percentages, and I've stuck with that all my lifting career. I always went by feel. Even then, if I did something a previous week, I would come back and try to, or 2 weeks later, say if I did 6s, and I didn't, if I got something, the next week, of course, I would go higher, but the next 6s, I would come back and do just a little bit more of the 6s than I did 2 weeks ago. So that's how I remember doing it then. And really, from what I'm doing now, it hasn't too much changed. So that was from like ninth grade to 10th. In 10th, I do remember doing more reps. Okay. It wasn't 10 10s, but I did a lot of reps. A few sets of 10s, and transitioned over to 10s, 8s, 6, 3s. And with that being said, same thing. I would do it first week. I would do at least 6 sets of 10, I believe, which I have implemented now. Again, 6 sets of 10. The following week, 4 sets of 8. The week after that, 4 sets of 8. And then I would go into my 6s, 3 sets of 6, and then 3 sets of 3s. This was from like 11th grade. Probably it's about 2 years after high school. Not much different now. The difference from then to now really is the fact that as I got older, there was a point in 2005 I had to take a break. 2005 was the year I was planning to just break out. At that time, I was lifting in the WPO at the Arnold Classic in 2005. I was getting ready for the semifinals. Actually, that year I was planning to squat 700 plus, because I hit a 722 in training in a canvas, Enzor canvas suit. 132s, 727, Enzor knee wraps and all that. So after 2005, because in 2005, that's when Katrina hit. I lost both my jobs, and my daughter was born 2 weeks after. I took some time off, as you can imagine. New father and all that good stuff, stressful times. But I took about 2 years off. But I remember coming back in training, and I just picked up 10 sets of 10, like, because of the fact that, I don't know, I think it was a subconscious thing for me. I picked it up and I just did a lot of reps. I think because I was just so eager to get the conditioning back that I had before, was just going through the agony of doing so many reps and going up as the sets went, you know. I guess that was a challenge for me, instead of a challenge where I can maintain weight, which is a huge challenge, because I remember squatting, because squat is my favorite lift. I remember squatting and being able to maintain so much weight and feel so drained and feel like it was nothing that can break me. And I guess that was a subconscious thing to me, to where in my lifting, that's what I wanted to feel. So I did tens and wanted to feel that point where I feel so much pressure, to the fact that in my head, while I'm doing these lifts, I'm saying, I cannot break. I won't break. I'm going to continue to drive no matter what. Nothing's going to defeat me. And I just remember having that inside of me, that feeling inside of me. So I would hit rep after rep after rep, trying to maintain my positioning without not giving in to that weight, and not giving in to my mind saying you're tired. So I guess that's when tens really stuck with me, and I really started doing that in my deadlift as well. My deadlift has always been decent, but the control at that point in my life, 2007, from 2007, actually from, so 2005, I was hitting a 570. 2005, I was hitting like 573, around 578 in a suit. I took two years off. 2007, I did a 600 in my suit. 2008, still around 600. But in that training period of suits, I really didn't train in my suit no longer. I always had trained raw, and then the last 2-3 weeks I would jump in my suit and then train. So by the time 2009 came along, I went over to Texas and I hit my first raw 600 in 2009. So that was a big jump for me because of those reps and lifting raw. So I was hitting rep after rep after rep after rep, maintaining for my deadlift, and for my squat. I didn't do any after Katrina 2005. I didn't compete in a full meet until 2010. That was my first full meet back, and I really didn't train heavy for my squat, but I hit reps. I didn't train really heavy until like 2009 for my squats, but I did hit a lot of reps before then. And 2010 was my first meet back, and I hit a 500, a 507 or 503 in 2010, and that's when that was my first full meet back, and I did 10 times body weight then. So really my training hasn't stopped from then. So I would always do 10 sets of 10, okay, for like 2-3 weeks. Yeah, for 3 weeks I would do a 10 sets of 10, for a week, and it was basically conditioning for my real sets of 10s. So 10 sets of 10, then come back, do another 10 sets of 10 so I get used to it. And then I would come back to start my program with my real 10 sets of 10. All right. And then I would go into the 4 sets of 8, 4 sets of 8, 3 sets of 6, 3 sets of 3s, 3 sets of 6, blah, 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 blah. And that's really been my evolution of training. It hasn't changed pretty much at all. And but the biggest thing for me is the 10 sets of 10. I say that a lot because that builds you so much as far as mentally and the physical things that you actually need. I have a book it's going to be a small book on the programming, but that explains it to the T, what it does for you physically, mentally, and spiritually, and the jumps and all that good stuff. So it's gonna be crazy. So it really hasn't changed that much, but I can tell you again, 10s have always been my bread and butter for what I do and how I've learned my lifts and gotten stronger. So there you go. That's my evolution. Really wasn't too much of evolution for my training. But to say this, my programming and my form and technique as far as what I believe in is simultaneous. It's no different. I mean, it has to be together. You know, a lot of people have, just programming and not really worrying about the form and technique. Those two things go together, belong together. Whatever programming you're doing, that's the actual kind of technique you're doing. So a lot of people don't see that. So it's you have to understand what you're doing, okay, when it comes to programming, okay? Because when you're looking at programming, you're not really looking at the way your form and technique is, because the way you're programming is your form and technique. So just to give an example of that, West Side, the way your programming is, you're going to lift like your West Side. So what's his name, Kabuki Warrior, Chris Stephan, if you're doing that programming, you're going to lift like that. You see what I'm saying? And neither one of those, or I'm not saying are bad or anything. I'm just saying the comparison of understanding what is actually going on. The way you program is the way you're going to lift. That's your form and technique. So, yeah. So that's my evolution. See y'all guys later. I am out of here. Peace.